only. Have only experience in telecom domain, and so I hope you can hear right to me. Okay, yeah. So I have worked in as a software test engineer, development engineer, and business analyst and architect in all sectors, and even worked in production support and all role. So I have multiple roles in my career. So today I'm going to present the software development life cycle, how software is there and all. Just let me share my present screen. Hope everyone can share my screen. Hope, hello, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So today I'm going to tell about the software development life cycle. Yeah, software development life cycle. Before that, any development you can see that I can tell that any car industry or any kind of industries, even if you take the sugar industries or any kind of sugar industry, no, that requirement. How much is the requirement? If you take the sugar industry itself, that how much is the sugar crane is required? How much is the crushing capacity of the industry is there, how many labors required, so all are they do the plannings, right? So even car industries, like if they want to produce n number of cars, and they want to start with the, what kind of cars we need to do, we need to idea means we need to come up with the petrol or diesel or electrical car. They need to find out the requirement, what kind of requirement is there, and what is the market is trending now. So currently the market is trending to electrical cars, right? So the way the petrol and design is diminishing now, and electrical car evolution is started. So what kind of that design we need to do, and how the market is there for that electrical car, and how much space and all. No, these all designs we need to start looking into that, and on based on that, that is the life cycle of car industry will start. So every industry has a life cycle from start to end, from raw material to the production you are sending to the end customers. Like we eat, right? As I mentioned, that sugar industry is the one. So how much is the wherever that they are sugar cane they are yielding, right? They are getting that. There only that industry will develop because it will be easy for the transportation and all, and it will be dispatched to the end customer as a sugar, other molasses or anything. So like that, the software is also has a life cycle. What kind of software I'm looking? Because now we are seeing the a lot of apps are there. You have seen that, so many apps they are developed. It will be helpful for daily usages. Even I want to go for walk also, you have Fit app. So Google Fit, if you install the Google Fit, you can see that how many kilometers I walked today and all. So your EBM, everything it will be come into there, and you can see that. So these kind of apps and all they will develop. So this all comes in the software life cycle. See there, today's agenda. We are looking into that introduction of that software life cycle, and overview of software development life cycle, and what are the pages are there, and flows and model, what kind of model they are using, and there are few models I'm discussing, one or two models: waterfall model, agile model, and we'll conclude that at the end of the session. So comes here introduction. SDLC is a framework that describes the activities performed each stage of the software development project. So there is a software, if they start, and any software starts, right? Before that, the requirement will comes here. So requirement, what is the requirements are? Client requirement will be there. That process itself is a one framework they'll define from end to end. From here, I'll get the requirement, and what is the end product the client wanted. So client comes to the customer, means client comes to the come to the vendor, and see there what is the what kind of requirement he has. I want like one architecture of that example. I can take the telecom industry itself. He I want 1,000 subscriber in my location, and I need to install this all antenna and all. So then the customer will comes what kind of design he required and how many customers he want to add that. That is a SDLC framework will come there. So they'll define the framework. Like even SDLC process used by the software industry as a design, develop, and test. That is software development lifecycle consists of initially you will do the design, and then you will based on the design you will develop that using the codes, and you develop using many whichever the if you want the codes like Python, Java, or anything, that programming language you use it to after the design you will develop it, and you will test it, because without testing you cannot deploy in the productions, because there is a lot of issues and all will be there, and those all testing will be done here. So the aim is to produce the quality software that means to exceed the customer expectations. If after the development deployment, if I say that in telecom industries, whatever that we developed and installed in Geo is one example, and if customer is facing issues, when they'll call that destination number, they'll not reach out or anything issues, or even if they are
Siddharth,
prepaid customer. Yeah, hello. Yeah, prepay customer is there, and if prepay customer itself is the amount is deducting automatically without any call, you not used at all call, but in that the amount is deducting, then definitely the customer will be frustrated. So in that case, they want quality of the software. Okay. So next, what is the means to adhere that there will be standards will follow. Any software no process will follow the standards, like anything ISA mark we'll call as ISA mark in India, right? Any product, if it is ISA mark, then even our your use bike helmet, they'll ISA mark is mentioned in that. So if you ISA mark, oh, it is good action, because you trust, we can believe there is a trust will come to that customer. Oh, is this ISA mark? Then it will not be an issue. Like that, there is a will standard will follow in the software life cycle. This is ISO IEC 12207 is an international standard for software life cycle. They'll define, there is a body will be there, international body will be there. They'll sit and what kind of requirement, how requirement will be written, how the document will be written and all, and how the designs are standardized, this framework, and how that development happens, and how the testing and how the productions it will go. So these all no, these all each kind of the models, they'll define it with the standards they'll give. In that standard only, everybody of software industry, they follow that. So they cannot overrule that standards and all. So this is a governing body in the international standards. Another standard is software engineering process technology company. It is a firm specializing meeting the software process standard information. So anything no that is related 120207 is the standard that is related to software engineering process technology, they'll use it. So this is a standard they'll define. So here is the standard how they define here life cycle of that. So there will be in that standard they'll define, one is the primary, and then is the supporting and organizational. Three levels life cycle comes here. So in the primary means like any development comes, it has acquisition and supply. So suppose I am developing because the IBM is the one company, they are developing one software, they got that from the client itself, and they are developing. And what they open, they in term they'll give the vendor also some part of like server maintenance, servers, new servers and all installation and all. Some vendor will take care. Some infrastructure and all. They some customer will take care, and developmental people IBM only does, and some testing they can give the some other person, or they themselves do the testing. And operation is like the daily whatever the customer running those no, that some servers will tell no when the operations is going and server is down, because whenever your exam results comes, yeah, exam result when sometimes we'll see that server down, what is happening? Because some bulk load happened, everybody try to fetch that report exam results, then server unable to bear that information, that time what happened, it goes down. So that is operational. And maintenance guys will see that, and what is that, then they'll give that more hits and all no, that is they'll see that, and again they'll restart the server and all, anything is used and all no, they'll find out that. So these are the one operational maintenance, development, supply and acquisition comes in primary. and supporting, like any requirement, no, any requirement comes, then supporting teams will be there, like documentation, whatever requirement. If you go to the client and they'll tell that, so this is A, B, C, D, these are the requirement, mind requirement, and can you write down those all. So the business analyst will go and they'll discuss with the client, and they'll document that information, and that is the documentation comes there. And configuration management is the another one entity, where that any changes happens. Today I have developed a product, and tomorrow small enablement I need to add it. So some another button or anything, something that they want to add the picture, then configuration management will comes into picture. They'll track it, whatever changes happened. Any software, no, in software industries we need to track it. So today that one window has login detail is there, and click button is there, everything is there. If it is web page is there, and if they want to change another picture of that, so older version they'll keep it. That is in configuration management, that old code will be there. The code whatever the code changes, right, that will be maintained through the configuration management. There is n number of tools are there. So those the tools, they'll the software industry will manage that through the tools, and they'll keep. Because sometimes if a new code is does not work in the production, they'll give back and keep with the old code only, to so that it should not impact the operational. So that is one. And quality assurance is the one, that is the testing. Your testing comes there. Yeah, because why you need a testing? Because any, like I want to means bike runs, right, bike or car. If you, without testing you cannot deliver it to the customer, because engine is working or not, doors are closing or not, your your brakes are working or not, clutch is working. So these all testing happens, because without testing you cannot deliver to the road. Because if something has happened to the customer, then it will be a problem actually. So those every product will be tested once it is in once the production done. So that is a verification, validation, the joint review, audit, and problem resolutions. These are all comes under that quality assurance only. So you need to verify, validate, and jointly review what is happening and all. So you should not have any scratch in that car and all. So you need to see that how many thing audit, they'll do the audit. What are the space parts they'll added into that car? Anything missing in that, they'll do audit, and the problem resolution. See any issues are there, they'll solve it. Like that software also, they'll see that what are the specifications they have got from the client. If the specifications means the requirement like any requirements, like example, your Aadhaar card itself has a requirement. I can example, the government comes to the Infosys and they ask for that Aadhaar card development. Oh, how is the Aadhaar card and how and all. So what are the specifications, right? Oh no, we need to look into that. Fingerprints is needed, eyesight will be needed. So these are all features, no, then it will be identify, the software should identify that eye contacts and your fingerprints and space and all, so that that customer, and it will relate to that customer, that means that person only. That person is, the person name is Santosh, means that seeing that itself, their fingerprints and all, it will identify. This kind of software development required, and it will for not for only 1,000 people or 10,000 people, or it is around 1 billion, 1.2 billion customer, means we have the customers, like that much is the required, that much is the requirement, means how much you need to develop the servers and capacity. This all softwares and all, no? Those are all quotations that Infosys go to the government, and government then they'll start working on those. So like that they started, and they developed the Aadhaar card and all over the India. Is not a small amount, it means small quantity. It will be 1.2 billion people are there. So that kind of requirement will be there. And you need a what is the time period also, they'll ask to develop that. So you cannot tell that no, I'll develop tomorrow itself. No, you cannot tell that. You need to identify a requirement. You will discuss with the business analyst, and how much the coding is required, how many developers required, how many testers required. They'll analysis, and they'll put that in the project. Then only they, and on time they have to deliver those, and the deadline and all they'll give that. So this all above, no, this organization comes here. Organization is the one in entity, their management, infrastructure, improvement, and training, no, these all they'll manage above all. Because without training you cannot put the developer and all. They have to be already experienced people, or if it is the person, it is they are graduate hire, they have to be get trained, or 2 months or 3 months into that project and get trained, and they are able to develop that code itself. If they want to develop the code through the Python or Java or C or C++, based on that, what kind of features they want to add it, those all they will use, like web development, they use the Java, or even Python, you can use the web development and all. So what type of database you required, SQL database or any database required, and how much capacity required. These all performance engineer will come there. How much capacity required to server can able to handle, because here if it is the other card, at least 40 million customers per day, or they can like 40 minutes means I can say in lakhs also, around 40 lakhs people, if they are hitting that other card to fetch the report, then that server can bear that, that capability. So this is the life cycle of that standardization. Here how that SDLC pages happens. First SDLC happens is the requirement analysis. So requirement comes here. They'll analyze the requirement. What are the features required for customer. He'll tell that this things I want, so that I can handle them. I need this software. If it is take the banking industries, banking team will come to the software industry. This is I want customer have saving bank account, and I want loan account, and all different accounts I want, and yeah, those are the transitions and all. It will go to the SMS or any pictures and all. They have to get it, and any transaction happened through the OTP and all. These are the OTP should alert to their that subscribe number, and these all different requirements they'll tell. So these all requirements they'll gather the software, business analyst will be, they'll sit with the client and they'll gather that, and once the specifications are ready, they'll push to the design team. The design will team will this is the architect team. They'll see that, okay, these are the one, and this is the banking industries, and these have around 100 million subscribers, and how many servers I need, and are we going to put this in servers in cloud, because nowadays cloud is the one trending one. So are we use the cloud space for this, and what are the softwares we need input as a means, like C or C++ or anything. So these are the supporting softwares, and SQL or any databases, what how many databases are there, what are web servers are required. So these all they'll sit and they'll design it, and once that design is approved, then it will go to the implementation phase. Implementation where the development starts, development, and they start developing that using the code, and once that development cycle over, then testing will start there. So testing, what they'll do, as per specification it is required, this is the requirement is there, and testing will do, no, it is actually the developer made a wrong here, he should not, this radio button should not become here. So radio button, instead of radio button, some other button he used. So can you remove this, and all, he'll raise the bug there, or we can call it a defect, and it will go back to the developer, and developer tells, no, actually whatever I got it from design team itself, and design team is the mistake, like that. So sometimes architects makes a mistake, sometimes requirement gathering guy, this business analyst will make a mistakes, because wrong information they take from the client, because client has something in the different in the mind, and business analyst takes as a differently, then it will goes totally wrong way. So that also happens, and there is a evolution here. So how anything we need to amend that software, after sometimes the client changes his mind, he want to add something more, then evolution will do that again, it will start that cycle. This is SDLC pages. SDLC pages here you can see whatever that I have to shown in that diagram, the same thing here. Planning and requirement analysis comes here. What are the plans here, and what are the requirement client has, and you are defining the requirement. They'll gather those requirement in the document, and they'll designing the software. How what kind of software we need to do and all. Those are the things they'll add it. and building or developing the software. That they'll build the or they develop the software based on the design and test the software and deployment and maintenance. Once the software is ready, we'll go and deploy it into the production and it will run it, and then you are able to access, like in college itself, clearly society will come up with a web something that they want to keep all the students information on their marks and their academics and their whatever their admissions, whatever they are all HR related things, no, if they want to develop. So these all will they'll plan it, and a college principal and all, they'll tell that they'll give the requirement here, and based on this they develop and they deploy into the model. Once it is deployed, then only you can access that. You'll go into the website and you start looking at, and you will enter your details and all, you'll submit it, so that your data biodata of that your student biodata will be stored there. Whenever then your ID card and everything, no, they'll store it. That kind of software development, that is comes under once it is deployment. Once it deployed, then only you will get the access for that. And maintenance means sometimes they want to add more picture, or they want to something, some the server is goes down, then they'll do the maintenance team will be there to take care. So planning and requirement analysis, that is what I have mentioned here. So requirement analysis is the most important fundamental stage in SDLC. It is performed by the senior members of the team with inputs from the stakeholders or domain expert or SMEs in the industry. Planning for the quality assurance requirement, identification of risk associated with the project, also done in this stage. So most of the risk, no, whatever that initially page only we can identify it. If the client wants A, B, C, D, like four requirement, and initially you feel that this is the one requirement, this is not possible, you can tell him, because you cannot tell that I cannot do in the end of that year. 1 year project is there, mean, no, I cannot do that. Then client will not be happy. Initial page only, this is not possible, or it has required a lot time and all, is something you can. So those you can clarify with the client itself. So the client will be, otherwise client will be frustrated. There is example here, some just one funny cartoon here. Like if it is a business requirement guy, business analyst will be there, no? They'll go and they'll sit to the client and discuss and all. But there will be time period for them also, like business analyst, no? Once they immediately they after the requirement gathering, they'll prepare the document and they should give to the design team. If they keep writing themselves that requirement again and again, they're asking the client, they're writing and again. So here is the one funny cartoon is there. He written business requirement volume 1 and business requirement next is the volume 2. He written, keep writing on those requirements only. But when he found that the requirements are completed, that time there is no developer or any other team will be available in that time. So this is funny means, like, so you have a time frame to do those things, right? A business requirement itself is taking 6 months time, then when you will develop and when you will test and when you will deploy into the production. So that is a funny cartoon I have added here. So here is another actually funny cartoon. You can see that. You start from that. Actually, the how first picture you see there, how the customer explained it. Customer is explained. Customer came and explained to that business analyst, and he mentioned he explained like that, because everything will be that in imaginary, right? This kind of software I want. So next, the project leader understood. Project leader, how he understood that picture. Next picture you see there. So he thought that he need to hanging that guy is there, no, that you can see that how it shows, and how the analyst designed it. The analyst, what he'll do, he'll design like that. So then programmer, how he wrote that. Next picture you can see that. And how the business consultant described it. So business consultant thought that this is the way he can, it is the one. And how the project was documented. Document means there is nothing clearly written, or because document is also one of the main important aspect of that software life cycle. But if you are not written in the document properly, then there is nothing will be there. Anything anywhere, no, if it is, the documents are not clear, then you cannot do. Even your exams also, when you write your notes also, no, if you are clearly written, then only you are able to to grab that in the end period of that your examinations, like small requirements, small points you written, then immediately you can replace those. Oh, these are the one I need to write in the exams, like that. So documents is the one of the important. And how what operations team will be installed, and so how the customer was billed. That is the one, actually billing was the one actually that they will bill the customer, right? This much is the bill actually. The but so how it was supported, like that. This is support team will be do like this. Actually they'll remove everything. So here is the one actually customer really needed this one. He want a one wheel with a rope tied in here. So this is actually customer wanted this in actually. That means that customer needed this one. But the thing is that how that life cycle understanding, no, that is totally different. If it is this case happen, then it will, that project will fail definitely, because you should know the requirement clearly. If you know the requirement clearly, then you start with the car designing and you'll forget the wheels itself, then how you can move that car itself, like that. So this is the one actually, the picture. Once the requirement analysis is done, the next step is to clearly define and document the project lifecycle. Once the requirement analysis is done, the next step is to clearly define and document the software requirement and get them approved from the project stakeholders. This is done through the SRS software requirement specification document, which is of all the product requirement to be designed and developed during the project lifecycle. So what happened? Once your requirements you gathered, there is a will document. That is in first document where we are sharing with the client. That is software requirement specification. That is called SRS. This document will shared with the client, and the client will go through that document. So will mutual understand, mutual agreement will come there. These are the one requirement you ask for, right? We have written that document and please get approved, because without approval we cannot go. Then later, then no, the client will tell, I never told this requirement, I told other requirement. How can you develop this one? I don't want this development. How I don't want this software. So in the end of the year, if the customer tells I don't want this, and who will bear the cost? Because already invested, and all the coding team, development team, testing team, you are already invested, because everything, no, that every penny is important here. So whatever that amount, no, the client is there. So if it is client, then it, the company has to bear itself. Then it will go in loss, right? So document, if it is client is not ready to pay the money, because whatever I want product, if I go and book the car and I wanted that red car, but if my requirement is red car, and if he delivered me blue car, then how can I accept? No, no, I don't want. Otherwise, I give back my money. I don't want. I want only the red car itself. Okay, like that. Clients comes and he wants this one. That is the reason mutual requirement. So when I go and I'll tell red car, and they'll take the sign of red car. I also change. Should not change the requirement, right? No, no. I told you yesterday that I wanted blue car, but you are delivering red car. If it is there is a no document properly signed between two, then I know, sir, you have written here, you have signed here. I can tell them you are mentioned the red car only. We are delivering red car only. There is, because you, they confidently can tell that, because document is there, sign is there. So everything, no, that mutual agreement will happen there. That is a contract, they will call as a contract. So contract written between them and customer and the client, and then the software company. So always there is a contract happens between them. And even if they are not able to pay that they have to pay it. After developing, if they are not ready, that contract has written that this much is amount is that specification price and all, no, they'll decide it, and they'll give they'll tell the client this much is happens. The one car means 6 lakhs is the, or 10 8 lakhs is the car price. That initially will mention that. So in the document itself, that price list. So next requirement specification is approved from the client, then we'll start the working on design. If without approval, we cannot go and start the design itself, because that even fund is required, right? If you want to work on that, fund is client will give the fund, then only you'll start the doing the design the software. Based on the requirements specified in the SRS, usually more than one design approach for the product architect in is proposed, documented in DDA, design document specification. And if that is the one, whatever, no, that they'll divide it. Design team will divide it, high level design and low level design. two level they'll divide it. High level design will have they have draw the whatever the high level requirements they'll keep in that document, and and then from high level design to low level design they'll divide one from there start what are the things and all, so they divide it minutely. So that is the low level design will come there. And once that is done, development team will look into that. They'll take the high level and low level as input for them. So in this SDLC, actual development starts and product build. The program coding will start from the high level and low level designs. Developer will code the and the developer also they should follow the guidelines also. Like you cannot use the there will be like some of the languages are freely available, and some of the languages are you need to take the permission, means that is that you need to take that that by that language, then only you can use that one to the client. Like Python is a pre-source, right? You can go and write the code and you can use it, but some of the C plus are they're not freely available. So those are the one you need to buy it, and then only the client should agree that those, then only you cannot use that one, because one of the Unix also, like those are the licensed ones, you need to buy it. Or IBM itself is developing, means they have own Unix. Then they'll tell the client this much is the charge it will happen using this Unix and all. So every whatever the code you use, right? There is a pre-source code, pre-source codes you can use, but you need to get the approval from the client itself. Those are there, and developer will these are the guidelines they need to do the development. And even coding also they use standard process and all in coding. You cannot code everything. For want 2 plus 2 equal to 4, for that you cannot write 1,000 codes. 1,000 codes and all. Even output will come, there is an output will come, but if it is output will come in 2 lines only, that will consider as a good coding. So, and that should be have standard template, and all means it should whenever that something is happened and that developer itself is left, and someone comes there, and if he is go and he wanted to change the code and all, if it is not followed guidelines in that, if it is not properly written, then he cannot go and fix that code. If it is something issue in that code, he cannot go and fix, right? Because if we follow the guidelines, after the 2 lines he should leave it. He should add the comments there. Yeah, this code will start from this, and this code will start. And because if you have 10,000 line codes is there, and if you write not properly guidance you are not properly followed, then it will be a problem. You cannot go and 10,000 lines you will look into that, you will not find it all. It will take n number of months, 1 month, 2 months time to fix the small code. Every developer know, they'll see that correctly. After this, and he should add the comment, and this much of line, this much of initial space he should leave it. These all steps you need to follow and all. These are the one, no, that will helpful for the debugging. That is called as a debugging. Debugging is where you will you will fix the code. The developers is that is the guidelines they'll follow. Developing, this is the one is the part of developing the software. And deployment and actually the testing I am is, I think after that testing will comes there, and testing will guide test that code. And he has as per the requirement he written the test cases. Test cases is where testing people they do the like I want tester. They are told that this is the specification. Like car is there, and it has the 4 wheels, and it has two mirrors, and all they have given to him, and they'll go and he'll check. Okay, he return the test case. Okay, car should have 4 wheels. Okay, is there 4 wheels are there or not? He'll check it. Okay, right, correct. And he'll go and mirrors are there. 2 mirrors are there. Okay, 2 mirrors are there. Yeah, right. Okay. So this he'll check every based on the requirement. He'll test that. Okay. So yeah, it is correct. If something is missing, oh, when mirror is not there, then he'll go back and tell that he'll raise a bug there. No, one mirror is missing. You cannot deliver this to customer. So he'll go back to the developer. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Add that mirror. So they'll fix the mirror and go again back to the testing team, and testing team will look into that and oh, okay, yeah, now it is fine. Now we can deliver that. So that without mirror you cannot give to the customer. Customer will be otherwise. What is happening? I have given full money and you are giving me without one mirror. How it is possible? Like that. So that is the testing will be one of the key concept actually. Initially period, that there is no testing team at all. Into 20 years back, actually there was no testing team. Only the development team was there, design team and requirement team. There is no specific testing. One in 2000 20 years back only it started. A testing team is the one important phase where that is must and should required, because you should after deploying into the production and you are finding the issues, n number of issues, then it will be very difficult to track that, and customer will be dissatisfied, right? Using that, if it is in production itself, it is the customer is if in banking sector, if you deploy that and customer itself, if it is money, something's happened here and transactions and all, you wanted to send to somebody and it went to somebody and all, so it all money matters, right? And you in production itself he is facing issues, then that will be a huge problem. Then before testing you will deploy like that, and that is the money is very important. Even small money penny also it goes to somebody, then he'll go ourselves. If I transfer 5,000, it will not reach that person 5,000 rupees, and I am frustrated when I am not my in my account it is deducted, but where it gone? So these all no tracking mechanism is not there, then definitely he'll be frustrated and he'll go to the banking, and the banking they'll tell we don't know and all. Then what happens? We'll be dissatisfied with that bank, and bank itself is not good and all, because of software problem. So without testing, if you put like that, then what will happen? That's the reason they'll test it. Okay, when tester will go, no, we will sit it and he'll transfer 5,000, and he'll check it. Okay, it is transferred to the A person will transfer to the B, and B person you got that money or not? He'll check it. So that A to B is happening, transaction happening, and B in reverse also, B to A is happening or not. So these all, and he'll able to add the account or not, remove the account, whatever. He'll a beneficiary, you want to add the beneficiary person as a beneficiary, so something you want to add anything, no, those all pictures, if they are not tested and put directly into production, it will be huge problem. That's the reason the testing is the important pace, where is that is they have given more value in 2000. And actually earlier to that 2000, there is software industry not usually use that testing. So now is the testing requirement, and really in Indians, actually Indians have more tester than any in the world. Actually, developer we got good developer, but tester is a very good actually. The we even world go means in the entire industry, software industry, no, in the world, and the Indians have more software test engines. That is the one evolution started in 2000. Okay, next is so here is the actually pictorial presentation how it goes there. You can see there page 1 to page 7. Like page 1 is the formation project initiation, rough order magnitude, that is called project development estimate. They'll do the estimation here. Any project, no, if it is any project, like if you take the even dams, is dam they want to build in, there is a one river and they want to build the dam, and the project they'll start and they'll estimate, right? How much is that can hold that, how much cubics of water can hold this, and how much is that money required and all, no, they'll estimate, and they'll estimate totally, and how much farmland or whatever land, no, goes into the water and all. If they build the dam, these all estimations go to the government, and the government will based on that they'll sanction it like that. So initially project estimation they'll do this much is the requirement and all, no. Then this is much is that if you want to develop this, you want this software, this much is the money it based on the requirement. And phase 2 is the requirement, and once it is requirement, initial requirement planning will be requirement project management plan of work. These are and changes of scope document. These all requirement be there. And what type of functional requirement? What are the non-functional requirement? Functional requirement are there where these are the whatever I mentioned that person A to B, he is transferring money or not. That is the one kind of functional function happening. But what non-functional is like 1,000 people in per second transfer to the other 1,000 persons in per second. That is the server is able to handle that capacity per hit per second. That is the one non-functional come. That is that performance of that server is able to handle that non-functional requirement. So this much those are the hardware. How much hardware required, hardware also on of that server, right? That is the hardware is required. These are all non-functionals, and functional is the where operations happens. So these are the requirement definition. Next is design, where you will do the internal and external design review, and every page, no, there will be a review happens. Review is the important part here. If I do that, I know that this is perfect. I know it is perfect, but somebody should review that one. Because if that another person, your colleague will review, then oh no, you missed this requirement. He'll tell him because in my perspective it is correct, but in that when he is looking into that, he'll see that you missed this requirement, you should add this one. So every page is have a review part is there required. Even design they do, right? The design reviews happened here. Once the design review and design is done, then construct the how to construct that, the code will come there. And even code also they'll do the coding also, no? Code review happens. But if you, the person is they'll code it and it is working perfectly, but code review person will so go and uh, they'll review it, and code review, uh, whatever the guidelines they he followed or not, those are the steps he followed or not. These all review person will they will do the code review. And once the coding is done and test team will come there, and there will be different tests will be there. End-to-end test will be there, system test will be there, functional test will be there, and non-functional testing will be there. So these are all different testing types will be in the test page. And they also have document also. Each page has document. Even code also whatever right now they'll gather the what kind of they'll write that document there. This is are the codes used. These are the languages they used. And even test also, these are the test cases. These are the what are the steps they have followed in the while testing that. Those all test summary. There also a document will be there. Every page will have document. A proper document will be there. So requirement from requirement page to end. Even maintenance also have a document. What kind of operational team can handle that? And if something this issue comes also, these are the issues is coming, means how to fix that issue. Those all will be documented, because persons will change, right, in the organizations. If operational they are doing, and if today it is trending. If person is 2 or 3 year experience, and in the IT industry, no, lot is happened. Not like government sector, and in IT industries and private sector, no, the person is having 2 or 3 year experience. After that, he'll leave the organization, he'll join another organization. But somebody should be come in his place, and he'll maintain that. And he should have a proper, if you would have a proper document, then only that person can manage that operation. So you see that document, okay, these are the one steps they are given. Earlier people used to do and fix this issue like that if the issue comes like this. And if it is goes down, because they have should, where is the, if server button he don't know, he not documented where how to start the server itself. And in whole day he'll look into the where is the server is placed. First of all, which place the server is there. So he is not written whatever that layout have not written the document. He cannot go and see there. And instead of one server, he switched on or switched off some other server, and it goes it impact very badly. So that is actually that document will be the important part. And anything that's the reason, no, whenever the organizations they those are the configuration management what we mentioned, right, one of the earlier slide. That is the one tool where you will maintain version of code, version of document and all. There is a configuration management is the tool is very valuable. There you keep all the things versions, even right, those are the important one actually. So here test and product release and enhancements and maintenance is the last page of that. So these are the one things. And trainings also is the important part of that pages. Everybody on maintenance and enhancement in that, the trainings is required. The operational team will work, and there will be like 24/7 operational team will be there to support that. Even this banking sector, telecom industries and all. If your tower is goes down, and you are not have any signal, you'll frustrate, right? Nowadays that everybody is using more data, and if it is data is not available in that, and they immediately will call to the customer care. No, sorry, I am not able to use the data itself. It is what kind of you are a suppose service provider? See, their Geo is working very good, and Airtel is not good at all. I want to move to the Geo itself. They are very good providers, like that. If they have, like, this is a competitive word, and Airtel also come up with many pictures and all. So this immediately they need to fix that. Why it is there? What is the anything tower has a problem, or any issues in the network itself? So that immediately they'll go and fix that. If they are done, they don't do it, then definitely the customer will move from there to another customer, another service provider. That is the one challenging they have, the software providers also. And SDLC stages and documents. These are the where document I have mentioned, right? So these are the one SDLC stages and documents. Um, Planning phase, we need a BRD document, and analysis, business analyst will do the SRS document. And these are the actually whatever the BRD we created initially, that is the input for the SRS. And the design phase, HLD and DLD, where design document, detailed design and low level design they'll do, right? So that is here, SRS is the input for that. And next is, based on this high level design and low level design, the coding team will look into that, and they'll code. That is input for them. That is a high level design, and deal design is that input for the coding team. And once that coding team looks, in one testing team also look into that input source code of that, and also they'll refer the HLD and LLD also, test cases, and they need a test cases, right? And they also test results they'll keep. There will be a software in the testing also. They'll use the tools to run the test cases and all, and they'll add this test results also. Because once anything goes wrong, they'll go and refer it. These are the when we tested. This is correctly came. How come it changed? Sometimes the coding, no, they raise one defect for one functional, and they send back to the developer, and they fix that function. But what happened while fixing? He made some other mistakes, and that goes unknownly, and then that code will be issue in the production itself. That's the reason there are different type of testings they'll do. Some of them, the one of the testing is regression testing they'll do. If something they fix right, A is fixed, but B also they will need to run again, because B should not be harmed because of A code. That's the reason the regression testing they do. There will be a performance testing will be there. That is another one they do after that. So this is the testing page where these are the documents. Every page has a document needed. PID, SRS, HLD, LDLD, source code. Source code is there. You write the code itself. That is the one document they'll do it. Okay. Uh, this is the one here. And SDLC models. We'll talk about now SDLC models. How we'll do this development? Something model we need to follow, right? So those are the one here comes here. To understand and implement the SLC pages, various SLC models have been created by the software development experts, universities and standard organization. There are different models they have created for software development lifecycle. So, reason for SDLC using models is like, provide the base for project planning, estimation, and scheduling, provide the framework, standard setup, terminology, activities, and deliverables, and provide mechanism to project tracking and control, and increase the visibility of project progress to all stakeholders. The model purpose of this in this there, no, where if you following the model, no, we know that this pays how much time it required, and we how much estimation and scheduling we can try it. How much cost is that project will require for this development, and which stage we are, and where in testing phase or development is on which stage, and how much it will take time frame is the main important also, and how much resources are they are working in that project, and how many requirements are there. These all, somebody should monitor it, then only you can write, we can do that it is happening or not. So these are the, like, if it is in car industry, if they start producing and daily they want to produce 40 cars, but which stage they are going through that body shop, it comes to the first body shop, they'll paint the that body, they'll add the accessories and all. There's every day steps will be there, but that model itself, which stage and all, we need to monitor it. That is the model will come here. Appropriate, yeah, this is the where we'll talk about more in model now. So in development advantage and choosing the appropriate SDLC is increase the development speed, increase product quality, tracking and control, and client relation. And we need to tell the client in which phase and all, and management will see that how it is, what is the risk involved in that. That also the still comes here. So there are the different models what I mentioned, that models are there, different models we need to follow. There are the some of the models here: waterfall model, iterative model, spiral model, agile model, v model, big bang model. These are the one models. Some of the means most of the software industry they'll use it, like, but waterfall was actually initially one of the successful one, and but later on it become a not so successful. Yeah. So agile is the one actually currently the software industry using, and it is successfully implementing. This model is the one rarely now people are using. Agile is the model. So we'll see that these are the different models we'll use it. So like waterfall model is like, looks like here. Like requirement comes here, I have collected 5 requirements, and start using that we'll do the analysis of that 5 requirement, and after the 5 requirements we start the designing, and we'll code it, and test it and send it and the customer. This is a waterfall one. Something, if it is the first month of January, requirement came 5 requirement, and middle of the June, the customer comes and tells, I want remove two and add another two different one. He cannot do like that. So because this is a waterfall model, once it is requirements are finalized, then we will not able to change in between. Otherwise, the project will goes for long. That is a waterfall. If it is requirement as clear and there is no requirement to add or remove in between, then this is the best model we can use it. Where is best model? There is a, because the requirements are very clear. I want actually red car, 4 wheels, and 2 mirrors, and this is and petrol car and all. You have depend your requirement. I'll not change anything end of that. In between, I'll come back and I want diesel car means you, no sir. Already we manufactured and you deliver. Petrol is about to come to the showroom. How can you tell now diesel car you want? So it is, you cannot change the requirement in between, because you already put lot of effort in that, producing that car and petrol car you ready and all thing everything ready, and in between you are telling I want diesel car. No, not possible. So there the waterfall model will fail. So requirement should have been very clear here. So that is the purpose of that, and this is the best model for if it is requirements are very clear. Waterfall is the oldest and most well-known as a SDLC, and follows sequential step-by-step process from the requirement analysis to maintenance, and it is a step-by-step process. A system that have well-defined and understood requirements are good fit for the waterfall model. What I mentioned, right? There is well-defined requirements are, then only it will fit for the water model, and it is very rigid one. It is very good for maintenance also, because your clear requirements are clear and everything will be. You will not change anything in between, and you will not have any issues while doing testing. Also, testing will be there, so some of the issues will come, but requirement related anything will not be changed here. That is there. Water model strengths, you can see that easy to understand, easy to use, provide structures to inexperienced staff, Milestones are well understand. Your milestones are right. This is are the requirements that is already understood. I want the petrol requirements that is under that milestone is correct. This is the one I wanted. This one sets requirement stability, good for management and control, plan and stop and track. You know that correctly. The management plan you can stop. These are the requirements you initially put that this much developer wanted, this much design team it wanted, and this many testers I wanted, and this is the team where do the operational and all. You well defined because you know that correct the requirements are already finalized. That's the reason you know that planning and all good for management control. The management it is good actually, works well when the quality is more important than the cost of schedule. So here quality also importantly helpful here. We maintain the quality here. Whatever weakness is there, like all requirements must be fully specified upfront. So if it is requirement is not clear initially, then it will not work. Waterfall. It should be the fully specified upfront. Deliverables created each page are considered frozen and enabled flexibility. Means deliverables you cannot deliver means small models like that. End up the like 6 months project means after 6 months only you will see that like that. In between you cannot the customer I wanted a picture should be comes in after 2 months, beach picture should be comes in after 2 months like that. It will not come. All A to B, C, D pictures will only you'll see that in the after 6 months only. So can give a false impression of progress. Does not replicate problem solving nature. Software development integration page. Integration is one big bang at the end, and little opportunity to customer to preview the system. So customer will not get much opportunity to look into that what is happening here. The one is the disadvantage here. If it is okay happening after 6 months only, you'll come to know that oh, I asked for this requirement and these guys are developed this differently. The one of the pictures I shown in the initially 2 3 slide back that pictures that hanging one. So that how that customer wanted and how that delivered after 6 months, then it will be disadvantage. Water bottle there is a disadvantage here in this case if it is requirement is not clear. When to use water model? Requirements are very well known. Product definition is stable. Technology is understood. New version of existing software product. Porting an existing product to a new platform. These are the one actually when that water model required. So next is the agile model, what I mentioned, right? One of the trending agile model now, where the software industry is currently using a little bit now. Rarely the people are using a waterfall model. Only the waterfall model they'll use where all are existing products, like already existing client are there from long time and they don't have any competitive, and there is no not much you can only maintenance, and in that small changes of amendments or any functionality they want to add, no, in that they are using the waterfall model. But rarely new projects and all new features and all, no, they are using for the agile model only. Agile model is the belief that every project needs to be handled differently and existing methods need to be well run. So agile has a it has a small time frames in that they depend like iterative model like A to develop first. A to developments A is pictured A, B, C, D. In waterfall model, only after 6 months only you will see all the pictures, but not like that. Here is a agile model where A, B, C, D is there. Requirement A, B, C, D picture, 4 pictures that a client has asked for to develop. And in agile model, we start looking to A picture first initially, and he'll picture will do that, and he'll show to the customer, oh, client, okay, happy, thank you that this requirement is clear for me. Then this is done. Okay, next go for B like that. So that is iterative approach you will use here. So and in so agile model where any changes happening in between, no, if you want in the suppose A pictures if you show and immediately customer tells, oh, okay, B also I don't want, something is wrong in the A, so B also you can change it. So immediately you can change that, but it is in water portal you cannot do that. So requirement anytime you can agile model, no, you can change the requirement itself. And here, no, in agile model developer there will be a scrum master will be there. There is a scrum will call as and he'll call everybody, developer, tester, designer, everybody. They'll discuss, and they whatever they're doing, no, whatever current daily activities they'll share it. That is in next slide. I'll tell that. I'll show that how it goes, how it shows that agile sprints and all they'll call it sprints. I'll show in that next slides. So another model is like V-shaped model. This also one of the model, like waterfall model, like agile model. The v model also in between was a successful one, like planning phase and maintenance. They'll planning according to that. Like there is a, if it is a requirement comes, and in that requirement time only, that testing team also work with the requirement team, and they gather the documents from the requirement business analyst team. During architect team, there is a designing phase, that is even integration team also work with them, and parallelly they'll get the document from the architect team. Detailed design team, they are doing, right, that time unit testing guys. Unit testing is where the development team will do the testing and all. That is called as unit testing. The development will get the design and all parallelly. They, when they are designing, no, they'll get it. They'll not wait for that. Unlike waterfall model, they once design document everything done, only then the coding will start. Not like that. Initial page only they'll start coding based on the initial specifications of detailed design and all. So there is a parallelly it goes V model. This is I can say that waterfall, in between waterfall and agile, no, that's V model sit there. That is. Advantage and disadvantage of V model is verification and validation of product is the early stage of the product development. You can do that. It is advantage here. Verification and validation of product. No, you can do the early stage, and stages are well defined here, and it is higher chance of success over the waterfall model due to development and test plans early on the during the life cycle. Here, development and testing, no, it starts earlier than that. Waterfall, no, after designing everything done, only they will start the development and testing. But here, no, earlier to that only start. That's the reason there is a success more. And each page has specific deliverables. You know that testing people will do testing, test deliverables, development will do that code deliverables and all. That is defined here, and works well for very requirement are easily understood. If it is where requirements are easily understood, and small changes of requirement can also be, I can add here any changes happen in the requirement initial page, stages. But in waterfall, you cannot do like that. Disadvantage is that does not I mean assumes the requirement is system can be, and once that frozen, that requirement frozen, no, you cannot change in between. That is one actual disadvantage here. But in agile, any requirement frozen, even also you can do that changes. Does not easily handle dynamic changes and requirements, and inflexible adjusting scope is difficult and expensive. Any changes you want to change the scope of that project, then it will be more expensive. Then again, you want to change that, and there every project they'll define the scope there, and costly and require more time, and this is a little bit costly. View model needs more properly and proper and detailed planning required here. So management should be have strong here to plan properly, and no continuous to customer environment. Here, no, there is no customer environment comes like waterfall model. There is also no customers will come. Most of the agile process have a lot of customers also involved in that, which sprint and all you are available right now, and all they'll monitor it. A customer will monitor it. Here the way why was I mentioned that agile model, no, agile model will be like a iteration here. Iteration team, iteration, design, code, and test and fix. Small. A picture will done, then go to the next will B picture, next will go the C picture and all. So there is a actually advantage of agile. Any changes in that A pictures happen immediately. They'll call the developer, tester, and design team will tell, no, this is the in the A picture itself. Small changes are there. Can you please code it and test it and all? So immediately they'll that iteration happens, and they'll deliver the picture immediately. So there is no delay in that. A cost wise and time wise, it is a very good model, I can say. So, Agile model has a speed up and or bypass one or more life cycle pages. Even sometimes you know that there is some pages. Or sometimes regression testing is not required. They can bypass it. The testing is required because already you tested in that path. So these all they'll gather all together, gather, and they do it in the Agile test model. In model, no, they'll hardly they speak. Design team will speak. Development team and test team very rare. He designed 6 months back, and testing happens after 6 months back. Then design person will be itself is not knowing what was the requirement he written or he designed and all. And that will be a problem that in model. But Agile everything will be in up to date, so everybody will know that what kind of requirement is there, and usually a less formal and reduced scope, and use for time critical applications. Use for time is the where I mentioned, right. Cost and time was the Agile model is very important. and used in organization that employ discipline methods. These are the organizational, no, they have scrum meeting means 9 o'clock a.m. means 9 o'clock everybody will be there and they gather in the meeting. That discipline also helps here, because if it is discipline is not there, and nowadays everybody's work from home and all, and there is no office environment, but people, there will be a lot of challenge, and there's the reason they'll schedule the meeting at 9 a.m. Means everybody will gather there, and there should be a development team will be there, testing team should be there, design team and the business analyst, everybody should be there. Even sometimes customer also joins that call, and they discuss and what are the pictures changing and all. If somebody is not there, then you cannot tell them what are the changes happening and all. So that is actually discipline. That way it will show that agile model. That's the reason the industries are adopting this one. Some agile methods, in that agile methods there are different agile methods are there. Scrum is the one actually I mentioned, right? Scrum master one is a successful method currently the industries are using, where it will be the scrum master will be there like a manager. He'll discuss, he'll ask a developer which page you are doing, what kind of code you are doing. Testing team, he'll ask what test you are doing, and design team, any changes happen in the designs and all. So those all, and any defects or bugs comes into the testing, right? Those all discussed immediately to the developer. Tester will tell to the developer, see the changes are there, and they'll solve it, and they that immediately they'll go and do the work. So otherwise what happens, I'll send it, I'll drop a mail, okay, developer will tester will do, I'll raise them to it. After 2 days developer will look into that, and okay, these are defects. So like that, they are fixing defect itself they are taking to 1 week time. Then when we'll deliver to the client, so the time is the most important one. So if in through the agile process, no, immediately they'll know that these are the one. So they can write the mail, but immediately they know that in the meeting itself they discuss, and that whatever they discuss in the meeting, they can send out a mail to them, and they'll fix it immediately. That is the one. So here, what I mentioned, agile, Scrum, how it looks. There will be a, here, they'll call as initially the product backlogs, and sprint planning, and Sorry, my screen just I am sharing again screen. I think you have seen this screen. I think right. Sprint one. Yeah, Praveen, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
So the backlogs actually I mentioned right. Sprint log is the one, and 2 to 4 weeks is the sprint where I mentioned here. This is the one. Each picture will be they depend in sprint and they'll deliver to the products. Yeah. So this is a huge topic as I mentioned in there, and well, yeah, next sometime if we get the opportunity, then definitely we'll discuss in Agile as a different whole topic. This is one of the trending model in software industry. They are using this one. So this is really the discipline that the everyone in the industry they are getting through this model only. They have to gather each and in the every day in the meeting and discuss that what is happening into that and all. So this is a one in the Agile Scrum is the one successful story. And user story, they'll tell that user story is right. User stories means the requirement, whatever the client given, that is they'll write as stories. These are the one, this one, if you click this button, it will go to the next page, and this will, if you click this button, and this will go to the next button, next page, and all. These all no, the story they'll write. Then so that it will easy for designer to design it and developer to develop the code. So that's the reason they'll call it the user stories. They in that agile they'll write user stories. Here is one of the funny actually pictures. You can see that the patient has a requirement dreams about being enslaved by the scrum masters and being made deliver user stories day and night. So he is talking about the user stories only that requirement he gathered. So that another one person is telling that he might be a suffering from APST means agile process stress disorder. So that he has shown here. Actually, every day, no, they'll discuss user story, right? So that is the one I have added a picture here. These are the kind of cartoons. Yeah. So another cartoon is here, like parents have gifted the car to that kids and without a wheels. So, but yeah, the kid is asking, "That's weird. This car has no wheels." But sorry, Johnny. This year we could only afford an agile Christmas. You will get the wheels during the next iteration. I mean Christmas. Like one of the here, no, one of the pictures actually in the first iteration they completed the car itself, but there is no wheels. In next iteration they will add the car to that wheel, a car to that wheels to the car. So that is one actually the funny one. So these are the means they have requirement. They'll divide it and each iteration they'll develop one products like that. You want to they deliver the car itself, right? One iteration they'll create the mirrors, one iteration they'll create the wheels, and one iteration they'll create the body, another iteration they'll add the paint, so that it will easy for fix it any issues or anything changes are required. They'll keep the last itself last iteration they'll keep last iteration they'll keep painting and all. Probably that time also they can keep, or other things also they'll page wise they'll divide it, and they'll create the iterations. Each iteration means each sprint they'll call as they'll develop. Yeah. So agile model weakness, we can see that there is a anything, no, there will be a strength will be there and weakness will be there. Any model they have like. So for larger projects, it is difficult to change the efforts and time required for the project in this SDLC. Yeah, efforts and time, no, that is in for larger projects it will be difficult. Small projects, so right, they can do that. They know the time frame and all, but larger projects they have. Sorry. So these are the important, actually important. Larger production, a little bit difficult to divide that iterations where and how we can divide that sprints. That is one challenging will come there. And since the requirements are ever changing, there is hardly any if it is requirements are frequently changing. Today he'll come and I wanted a red car, and tomorrow he'll come blue, and third he'll come black car and all. If this is happening, then you cannot go and paint that car itself, right? So you tell today red, and you started tomorrow painting, and it'll come suddenly comes in, "Ah, I don't want red car, I'll want blue car." Then it will be a problem. So these are the frequently changing requirements will definitely impact to the deliverables. You wanted, I want a car on Dashra itself, on Dashra day today. I want to deliver, but you are in between. You are going and changing the colors itself. Then how he can deliver on the Dashra? He'll not deliver on Dashra. He'll deliver on Diwali only, because you are changing the requirement here. So like that, you should not change that. That is one misunderstanding. If it is frequently changing requirement, will also impact in any models. It will be impact itself will be there. But yeah, comparatively waterfall model, it is better actually, the way the even requirements are changing, but not so frequent that you cannot change it. You tell red means after that blue, that's fine. That is, you stop it there itself. You cannot again third day will tell and go and black car. So that will be annoying, right? So that you cannot deliver on same day on the Dashera day. You'll deliver only Diwali or next year only, or next year Diwali only, like that. So depends heavily on customer interaction, and so customer is not clear, team can driven in wrong direction. Depends heavily. This is when actually most of the customer involved, right? The customer itself is, if it is not, he is a lot of interaction with the customers also, it will be harmful while delivering the things, because he frequently he'll change the requirement. Conclusion, uh, uh, project managers here lead to endeavor planning. Planning is the map, no guide, and especially for the team. This is a conclusion where anything, no any software life cycle, project manager is there where he lead that whatever the requirement and all. Planning is a map, guide, or especially a team. So planning is where you map. You want to go from A destination to B destination. You should have a map, right? Without map, you cannot go that destination. So somebody should be there, map it. So from today we're here. After the 6 months, where I need to be there. Some map should be defined there. And SDLC is the mostly about people, process, time, and management and communication. And yeah. And risk are inevitable. Risk, because there is every project or every industry there will be risk involved. Without risk we cannot go. Uh, so that is there. Risk is there, but you need to plan it accordingly to avoid that risk and all. And accessing the scope of work, timing, risk, resource will be lead to the project management. There will be a frequent requirement also along that. And along with that, resource handling also important, because in between the good developer also leaves that company, and then also there will be challenge will be there. If it is a good architect itself is the leaves the company, then there will be a challenge will be there. Their internal challenge will be there, external challenge will be there. So and based on that, you need to deliver. You cannot tell the client that I don't have this developer, I don't have, because this is our problem. I want this deliverable, means delivers, he'll tell client. You taken money means I need this one. So that we need to handle. That are the lot of internal challenges will be there in the projects. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is I'm ending my session here. Thanks for this giving me opportunity here. So do you have any questions? Please let me know.
Yes, sir. This is Prabhu Kistri. I'm faculty from BCA department, sir.
Yeah, hi, Prabhu.
Sir, I have some questions for you.
Yeah, sure.
In software engineering, we have a plenty of process models. Which one you
Hmm.
recommend to students or any industry experts? Generally, we have seen plenty of models like a red model or
Yeah.
concurrent processing model, like waterfall model. Which one you would suggest, sir?
Yeah, actually, the way as I mentioned in the earlier, if it is requirements are clear, the waterfall model is a very good one. But currently, I can recommend only that agile model is the one, where it has taken iterative model in that. Iterative model is implemented in the agile process. That is the best I can say, that is good for student also, and it is the most trending one from last 3 4 years. Every industry they are using the agile model. because that is pictures and all. No, the time and effort, everything. No, that will be more helpful through this
Okay.
Agile model. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. One more question I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, students have not any industry experience or any development
Mm,
experience, and how they will learn
mm,
a software engineering subject, because this is a very vast subject, I can say.
mm.
And even what are the tips you want to give for our students, sir?
Students, I can say that there is a vast because everybody will not get the immediately that opportunity to go and work in the industries. Initially, they used to give that even final year students and all. Some of the industries they used to give opportunity to work in the project itself directly. But nowadays, the competitive world is there, and that's the reason you will get a n number of website there. I'll share those websites to the your KLE board, and where you can go, and there will be requirements will be there, so you go and code it and it deliver. They'll monitor and see that, so those n number of students can develop their own code and they'll deploy there. So small development deployment things are there, servers are there, everything there, that like an industry itself you can do yourself, and your own project you can do and deploy it there. So the some that governing body will be there, they'll monitor, and if something is there, definitely they'll reward you. So those are the there. I'll definitely share those sites and all. So it will before going to the industry. No, it will helpful. Yeah, yeah. Thanks.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, sir. So many software developers need to learn software engineering. Is that mandatory for all the software developers to know about software engineering tasks or
No,
actions?
actually not. We put in the software industry. There is, as mentioned, right? Different categories are there. Even if you want to development, means you can go in development. You want testing as your career. You want to make it. You can make it a testing as a career. So there is no hard and rule that developer should go and develop itself. So initially it will be there, and you need to decide which kind of language you want to go. Python is the trending one right now. By Python and data science, the students, right? Artificial intelligence, current trending technology there. If the scope is they give to that current technology, right, definitely helpful for them for their career growth and all. So that is one I can suggest that. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful speech on this end-to-end software lifecycle. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Prabhu.
Okay,
Thank you.
dear students, please, if you have any query or any doubts, please ask to Santosh sir now only. Please. Otherwise, we are moving with the last part of this webinar. That's why I'm asking you. If you have any doubts, any inquiry, please ask to Mr. Santosh sir. Okay, Praveen sir, shall I move with the last part of this webinar?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir, sure. Very good morning, everyone. This is Shilpa Gadag from KLS SSM College, Athani. Okay, now we have reached for the last part of this webinar session, that is vote of thanks. Okay, it's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks speech, acknowledge contribution of those who worked really hard to make this webinar happen. Okay, first of all, I extend a really heartily vote of thanks to Mr. Santosh sir, this the resource person of this beautiful webinar. On behalf of our college staff members and on behalf of all the students, once again, thank you so much, sir, for giving this knowledgeable about this webinar, sir. Thank you so much, sir,
Thank
Santosh
you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
then
madam.
a special mention thanks to our respected principal sir, Professor Ganesh sir, to give the permission of this conducted this webinar. Thank you, Ganesh sir. Thank you for giving this opportunity, sir. Thank you. Then I am immensely thankful to all the faculties of this BCS section. And finally, I would like to thanks our dear students. You made this webinar successfully. Thank you one and all. Last but not least, a big thank you to each one of you who made this webinar successfully. Thank you so much one and all. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Uh, Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Praveen, sir, wind up this one.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
sir.
Dear students, we will share a feedback link in this chat box. Okay, fill this feedback form. You will get certificate.